relationship, whether you're dating someone or whether it's a business relationship, you're always putting your best foot forward.
Totally.
So you know that the service you're getting up front is generally going to be the best you will ever get during the course of that relationship. So if it's already substandard in the beginning, probably won't be great later on.
Hey guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to the Smart Move podcast, a place where I give you the most information to become an educated buyer, seller, or investor. Thanks for coming back and listening, and we hope you enjoy today's episode, sure to give you all the insight that you need. On today's episode, I have my longtime repeat clients who have also turned properties into successful investments, now own a property management company, and have written a book, You, Me, and AirBNB, with their wealth of knowledge. So welcome, Mark and Kirsten Krikke. So good to have you guys here. Welcome. You can hear the birds.
Rachel.
It's sunny. We are ready to party. Guys, I'm so excited to have you here. I've got a few things I want to ask you, a few things that we can kind of go over and then give some room for questions and stuff from you as well. And if there's anything you want to touch on. But really what I want to talk to you about is kind of the property management side of your business. I have a lot of clients that are getting into investment properties, looking into more Airbnb potential, where they can't do it themselves. So just having you here and informing the buyers, and even some sellers on what they need to do would be awesome. So I guess first off, I kind of want to start with, who are you guys? I've given a bit of an intro, but who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Well, I'm Kirsten.
And I'm Mark.
So we have as you said, a property management company that we started, I think, almost 3 years ago already.
Yeah.
So right in the middle of COVID. It's a good time.
Yeah, a great time.
I was 9 months pregnant and we're like launching this business. Yeah. Because, timing is everything.
Yeah, totally. Why not add one more thing?
Yeah, so it kind of started, we had been hosting our own Airbnbs. We started with a basement Airbnb in our primary home. Yeah. That's kind of how it happened. And then you helped us buy our first investment property, which we also Airbnb'd.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that was probably in what,
2018? Yeah. And then, you kind of people get to know you as the Airbnb people. And we've had so many people come up to us and just ask us questions like, how do we do this? I'm thinking about Airbnb, but I'm not really sure. So just helping people out, giving advice, walking them through the whole process. And at one point, Mark was like, I think we might have something here. Yeah. Like maybe we can, I don't know, we can do this for a living. People are coming to us for advice.
Try it
out. So maybe, this is something that we can explore.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it started.
I love that. What would you say, you had kind of touched on the process. So you had people coming to you with the process. Could you touch on a little bit of what that process is to, let's say, get the property? I mean, we know the buying process of it, but how do you even say, and this is something that we work on together as real estate and client is, okay, how do we come up with the right property for investment? Then once we do purchase and close on the property, what are we doing? Are we making it into a 1 unit? Or are we making it into a 2 unit? How do you decide what you want to do with the property, where you're going to get the most return and where people are going to get the most return? What are those things? Like, how do you make that up?
Well, you gotta go right back to the beginning, sort of. And when we're sitting down with a client, with an investor, we want to know what their long-term goals are. Right? Is this property just strictly for cash flow for a little while? Is this part of a longer term? They're going to build a portfolio. Yep. Is this going to be for retirement? Right? All these things matter to determine what kind of property you're going to buy. Okay. And typically our experience has been with in urban markets, so not strictly vacation rentals. And that's, a lot of people that, almost all our customers have urban properties. Okay. So then once we kind of identify targets and make sure that, an Airbnb or a short-term rental or a mid-term rental will fit those parameters, then we look at properties and we determine here's your first plan. Do you have a plan B? Do you have a plan C?
Okay.
So typically that looks like, can we do short-term rentals in here? What is the regulatory risk?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing in Ontario that is, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Most municipalities have or are introducing some kind of rules around short-term rentals.
Yes.
So we figure out what the risk is for their plan. So can you do short-term rentals? If you can't do that, could you do a midterm rental? Could you do 30-day stays or longer?
Okay.
And that's something we kind of touch on in the book as a new concept.
Yes.
Because it's a newer idea.
Yeah.
Especially around in our market.
In this area.
And then the last thing we look at is, could this be a successful long-term rental?
Okay.
And we really want to capture that for clients, because if everything else goes poorly, we don't want them to be in a position where they have to sell, and maybe it's a market downturn and they bought when it was a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And we know, we're very confident in real estate as a long-term plan.
Yeah.
But there is some volatility.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to put people into a position where they have to sell.
Right.
And they're in a property where they have to, and they're going to sell at a loss. So it's always nice when it could be used as a long-term rental.
Yeah.
And also multifamily.
Yeah.
So we really look at the possibility, can we duplex this? Could you make it a triplex? So it's a lot of stuff that goes into it beforehand, but then that really narrows it down when we turn them over to you and they're looking for a house.
Call me.
No, but then they have guidelines that they can give to you. Here's the kind of house we're looking for.
Absolutely.
And it makes it so much easier for everybody, because then you also kind of get your budget.
Yep.
You do research on the area to know what cash flow is like, and we'll analyze every property regardless.
Yeah.
But it's like everything else. Preparation is really the key.
Yeah. And I really like how you say that, because I find a lot of people can get into this process without doing that prep, and that you take these clients of yours now, customers that really from point A hold their hand all the way through. And I think that's something that we are missing in the property management side of things. And I can appreciate that you guys are really just starting from that point and really leading them through that process, setting them up for success, right? Because that's essentially what any investor wants is the success, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
no, that's awesome. I like that a lot. In terms of, you've been doing this now 3-4-ish
years where we're
yeah.
managing for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accomplishments that you guys are proud of. What would you say is, there's a lot.
Well, we wrote a book.
That's a big deal.
I say we. It's mostly Mark, if I'm honest.
But
Team.
You're the support. You were there. There's quotes.
Yeah, that's right. I do have a lovely quote about doing a lot of laundry. That's my favorite. Like just getting everything on paper.
Yeah.
And organizing our thoughts. Because, we through the process kind of realized we do have something here. We have knowledge through our experience.
Yeah.
We should write it down and share it with people.
I think it's great. Yeah.
So just getting it written and.
Yeah, writing the book was actually the easy part, doing the writing.
Yeah.
But the content, that was all really produced by Kirsten.
Okay.
Because in the first 8 years or so, or maybe 6-7 years that we did Airbnbs, I didn't do much other than I'd fix stuff.
Show up. Yeah, exactly.
But Kirsten was doing all the booking, all the cleaning, all that stuff. So like you said, I figured we have something here. We have knowledge, we have experience, mostly Kirsten, but I'm getting there too.
Mm-hmm.
And putting it on paper was just sort of a, like a formality, right? Let's just get these thoughts organized.
But now it's there, right? And then you can give that information to so many people. And for people that might be watching, listening, again, the book is You, Me, and Airbnb. And you guys gave me a copy. Thank you for that.
You're part of the journey,
part of the journey, right? But it is something that I think, even if it's not something you think of like short term, again, this is long term, but it's a good read. It's just more, it is more knowledge for the buyer, for the seller, for people who own properties to even think, I could potentially do this, right? I could Airbnb this, or I could have a midterm rental or a long term, right? So I think it is important I love to learn random things. So I try and encourage everyone else to do that. Not that they have to listen to me, but it is, it's good to get it on paper, to have it in a book. And I think that's since you guys have done that too, I've seen a bit more of you in that world, right? Where people are recognizing that,
the book
right?
definitely helps
Yeah.
give you some like validity.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've done this once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask, and this is actually a question from a guest, not a guest, sorry, an Instagram,
Okay.
like a follower. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you call
A
that?
follower.
Follower,
There you
yep.
go.
A fan.
Follower.
Call them fans, Rachel.
A fan of Mark and Kirsten. For those that are looking to have their property managed, what are some questions that they should be asking you? So if I just bought a property, maybe I didn't use you from the start, which I would say, obviously now we know, call them when you're starting to look at this process, or call me and I'll point you to them kind of thing, right? But if I'm interviewing you to manage my property, are there some key questions I should be asking the two of you
Yeah.
to get this
Yes.
property up? So what's something I should,
Yeah,
give me
like-
like 2 or 3.
Yeah, if you're interviewing a property manager
Yeah.
anywhere, like you want to know how long have you been doing this? What's your expertise?
Yeah.
Do you have referrals?
Yeah.
Right? Do you have other clients who would actually speak with you on the phone? And not every client wants to do that, but
Right.
there should be some that are pretty happy with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're local, that would help too. Like if how hands-on you are. It depends
Right.
on what you want from your property manager.
Yeah.
We do a little bit of both, like 2 things. One of them is actually physically managing a property.
Okay.
And we've had people ask from outside of our Hamilton area if we could do that for them. And we were just honest, like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
Because we just wouldn't be able to do a great job.
Yeah.
But for some of the other Airbnbs listing, we manage remotely.
Okay.
But we're like upfront, we can't be at the property.
Yeah.
If something breaks, you're going to have to get a contractor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're strictly just the Airbnb side of it. So it depends on what you want.
Okay. There is a bit of
yeah.
room to make things work, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that because we just had a legal duplex, so he's a bit more development, whatever. But he had said one thing that really struck me, and I just heard it from you again too, is like communication is key. When you start off right away by saying, no, sorry, we can't manage your property
Yeah.
in the way you want to this way. When you start off right up front, being honest and having that communication, it's just going to give you a much better
Yeah.
relationship in the end too, right? So I think that's something to really look for that's something maybe I would ask is,
Yeah.
where are we at with communication? Am I going to be hearing about where's our level of that,
Yeah.
right? So no, I think that's neat that you pointed on that too from an investment side. I think that's just the ongoing theme is just communicating
Yeah.
with everyone, right?
And that's a sort of a nonverbal thing you can pick up on as well. Like, how are they communicating with me?
Yeah.
From how long does it take them to get back to me? And
Yeah.
like,
What's
we're
your
not
average?
always the best at that, but
I'm like, I know.
we
I'm
try.
like, oh, sometimes.
But like, generally, when you're first starting a relationship,
Yeah.
whether you're dating someone or
Yeah.
whether it's a business relationship,
Yeah,
you're always putting your best foot forward.
totally.
So you know that the service you're getting up front is generally going to be the best you will ever get during the course of that relationship. So if it's already substandard in the beginning, probably won't be great later on.
Totally.
So just little cues. To
That's
kinda
actually
look out
something
for.
interesting. And even for, like, I think of that from business owners ourselves, right? Like thinking of it that way. Cause yeah, I mean, shoot, we've been working together for 5+ years, right? And like, you can think, okay, was I really good then and where am I at now? Like just comparing, and then going back to, no, we can't be sending that subpar message at all, like from the beginning or after 5 years, right? So, no, I like how you said that.
Yeah, it's a scary thing, right? When you're buying a pretty big asset when you're buying property. So
Totally.
then to let somebody else, you're handing over the reins. So
Yeah.
we do have a bunch of clients who don't live in the country and
Yeah.
they're on the other side of the world and they trust us completely with
Yeah,
their home.
that's
So
huge.
it's a big ask.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
And
so-
having that trust, right?
Yeah.
You have to build that
Yeah.
trust. So if you can get that
Yeah.
right off the hop, I
Yeah.
think that's really awesome. No, I like that. That's a good, that was a great question. and also a great answer. I know, Kirsten, you do a lot of the staging and the, getting the property ready. I had asked you a bit about the process of purchasing an investment property and how you take them through, but what's the process of getting this ready?
So it can be overwhelming. You're taking an empty house, and now if you want to do the short term, you have to furnish the whole house.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily think about. So I've created lists, which I can share with my clients, so that they remember, like, oh yeah, I need a can opener. Right? Because you don't want to be a guest in an Airbnb and like, oh, there's no can opener.
I can't open my Campbell's soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've created lists of things that you need to buy. So that's kind of gotten really easy. Like, okay, here we got these things.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of thrifting.
Okay. Yes.
When I can.
Yeah. And you're really good at it.
So furniture, I'm all for thrifting furniture.
Okay.
And artwork. Mark is huge into going to auctions and getting a lot of artwork.
Yeah. Do you provide any of these things to your?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For local clients.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those that are cross
and then
country.
we can just guide. Like, and it depends on what they want. Some people are like, here's the empty house, and
Do
for
it
a
all.
fee, we can get it set up for them. If they'd rather do it themselves, I can guide them to what they need.
Yeah.
So like things like linens, like what are you looking for in linens?
Yeah.
100% cotton, white.
Yeah.
Those kind of
Easy.
things.
Yeah. Something you can throw in the wash and bleach.
Yeah.
Because you love doing laundry.
I love doing laundry.
If you haven't read the book, you'll know. Kristen does a lot of laundry.
I did. I still do.
Yeah.
But just for my family.
I was going to say, now mostly just for your children.
Yeah.
Do you guys have we've talked about accomplishments. What are some goals for the future for the property management side, the Krikke side? Yeah. What do we have for goals?
So I just finished reading the 4-hour work week.
Okay.
By Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking for a 4-hour work week, but something that we have talked about is being able to manage our business remotely.
Yeah.
And we're still
take me with
it's
you.
A small it's a small business, so we're not at that point yet, but we're kind of looking to the future, right? And how do we make that happen?
Yeah.
So with the remote hosting, we can do that from anywhere. So that's awesome.
Right.
And then with, property management more hands-on, then we got to figure out, getting staff.
Have a team or something.
Yeah, building a team. So that's sort of the next, that's in our mind.
Yeah.
Right.
It's on the
right now.
trajectory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really think that's kind of what we're looking for. We've kind of built the business in a way that gives us a lot of personal and business freedom.
Yeah.
Because we work from home.
Yeah.
So we can both spend time with our children, right? And that's kind of how we've structured it.
Yeah.
And we want to continue that, right?
Yeah.
We have young children. We want to be there for them and be able to maybe do some traveling and just kind of support our community as well.
Yeah.
In the ways that we can.
Which, I think that's huge, right? And a lot of people obviously are looking for those goals like retirement, this and that, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But just to even be able to do it in a way that you're bringing the family along with you and just having them also seeing what you're doing now at such a young age, I think is going to set them up for success. Just having that like entrepreneurial spirit, like from you guys, right? I think that's really cool to see.
What the book was about. The book wasn't so much like, oh, you should Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was just do something outside the box.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Like I had a lot of misgivings in the beginning.
Yeah.
Even when Mark said, let's buy an investment property, I thought, you're nuts. I don't need another
mortgage.
I
remember being there for that conversation.
And
actually.
I was so nervous about it.
Yeah.
And now
and then we twisted your arm and here you are.
Here I am. Like it's okay. You don't have to do the 9 to 5.
No.
Right? You don't have to do what everyone else is doing.
I agree.
It's okay to think outside the box and do something different. And like just yesterday, it was a beautiful day in May.
Mm-hmm.
I took one of my sons to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Took another one to a birthday party and spent the afternoon gardening.
Yeah.
Like when would I be able to do that
right?
if I'm working a 9 to 5
the
job
9 to 5. I know.
Yeah, shift work.
Yeah. And it's different, right? Like it's real estate too, right? It's I'll have an afternoon
you're still
free
working.
or whatever. And you're answering calls, but maybe we're working in an evening as opposed to when
so there's that flexibility. I sent off a couple of emails. There was some things that I knew I could deal with in the evening. Yeah. But right now I'm just going to spend time outside in the garden.
I love that. I know
So-
it was such a beauty day.
Yeah.
Finally, we're getting there. I like that. No, so goals are we're looking, further in the future, but just setting yourself up for those sorts of things, I think, is super important. It's funny because I find, maybe you don't feel this way, but I find like goals weren't really talked about much, even like 10 years ago, right? That not a lot of us were like thinking, okay, what do I want to do to like bring my career to this level or bring my family to this level and whatever, right? So I think,
You just follow the set mold
Totally.
that everyone else has done. And,
work hard, and which I think are still great things. But
Yeah.
just to have something to be, I want to work remotely, or I want to do this, or I want to have, these options for my children, I think, is really cool. So, kind of coming towards the close, but one thing I ask all of my guests is, what is your most valuable resource or your most valuable piece of advice that you can give to a buyer, or to, because that's who's going to probably be getting the most out of this, someone that maybe is looking into buying a short-term, mid-term investment property. What would be your best piece of advice?
Just based on my experience, if you're thinking about buying real estate as an investment, like, it's scary.
Yeah.
I know that there's so many questions. You don't know if it's going to work out. You can have another mortgage payment that you have to cover.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's okay to be nervous and scared and outside of your comfort zone. And I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
Because if, like, before we invested in real estate, we didn't have the opportunities that we do now.
Right. Yeah.
I quit my job as a nurse. I used to work as a nurse, and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Which has totally changed my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now we're thinking of buying a real estate in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We have something in the works in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So it just opened up so many doors that previously weren't available to us. So it's
Do it.
scary.
Take the risk.
Find other people who've done it and ask them, pick their brain.
Yeah.
There's information out there.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And I think it is such an important thing is, talk to those who have done it before. For me, come to you guys, for you guys, if there's something you didn't know, point me in that direction, right? We're all here working together, right? So I think, just take the risk, just do it. If you can do it, then do it, right? Yeah, I think.
And even if you can't.
Do it anyways.
Well, one thing, I guess my advice would be educate yourself, really focus on education.
Yeah.
That's been a huge, because when we bought that first property, it wasn't on a whim, but it was like, we knew it was kind of a good idea, but we weren't really into real estate investing at that time. It was just like, we're buying another house. We didn't think of ourselves as real estate investors, but we've done a ton of research and learning since then. Yeah. And I've realized like that your most valuable asset generally is yourself, right? And I'm not saying, be selfish or you rely on yourself, but
like a little
it's
bit,
true.
But,
most business people who succeed have failed. And, the difference is they weren't relying on an asset or a particular strategy or something to make them successful. You can't rely on just a house to make you successful.
Right.
You need to understand the real estate market, the broader picture, to varying degrees, so that you can be flexible. And if something happens, you can deal with it. And if you lost everything tomorrow, what would you do? Yeah. And I know that we have skills that we would probably, I don't know. We've talked about this.
Hopefully be okay.
No, but for myself, I think I would just do the same thing, because I know we have real estate skills. We have, skills in specific areas. So we could pick up where we left off and go again. So for people, like, don't just rely, find the experts, but don't just rely on them. Educate yourself.
Really get to know it. Yeah. Really learn it. Yeah. That's really important.
Yeah, we talk about that in the book too. It's resilience, self-resilience. Like, I didn't know the first thing about managing a property, really. Yeah. Now I go in there if something's not working, and I don't always wait for Mark. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll come and check it out. Yeah. And
look at me, I know how to work.
I'm learning how to do stuff, and if I don't know how to do it, I figure it out. And just don't be afraid. If not, then we call Mark. Yeah. But just don't be afraid of just trying new things. And if something's not going to be great, it's not going to be fun all the time. right?
Yeah.
There's going to be stuff that you're dealing with. You're like, oh man, I can't believe I'm doing this. But it just makes you a stronger person.
I
and
agree.
then the next time it happens, you're like, yeah, I can handle it.
I've got this.
Because I remember the first, and so many people ask too, well, what about bed bugs? That's a huge
Yes.
worry for a lot of people when they're starting an Airbnb.
Yep.
I've dealt with bed bugs.
Okay. You've
I've
done it.
I know who to call. I know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So now when I hear the word bed bugs, I'm not like, I can't
No.
do this. I'm like, yeah, we'll deal with it.
We got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be really important then too for them, is just knowing that you've got that calm about you, right? Like when you go into a situation, guns a-blazing, and you're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. You're that calm presence, right? And I think, having that for someone that is doing that, I think that's awesome. That's a great point. Guys, this has been a lot of fun. I don't want to get rid of you, but we have a time limit. So we always have 2 questions that we close out with all of our guests. The first question is, what is something that you guys are loving right now? You can have a combined answer or a separate answer. It can be business. It can be a book, a TV show, a magazine. I don't know. Thrifting.
Oh, wow. I do like thrifting.
Yeah, that's just always.
Yeah. Oh, something that I'm loving right now. That's a good question.
Well, I think for me and probably for us is just like our lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We haven't achieved all the goals we want, but we're not like slaves to the business or to anything, right?
Yeah.
Where we got to work hard and we got to do stuff, but we're able to spend time together, spend time with the family.
Yeah.
And
You guys like hanging out. That's
Yeah,
key.
it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we work together. We're raising a family
and not everyone
together,
can
you
do
know?
that, right?
No.
So I think that's also a true testament of
Yeah.
what you guys bring to the table in all of that, right?
Yeah.
Like just real, honest, genuine, fun people
Yeah.
that
I
like
hope
to like occasionally fun.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not living a lavish lifestyle. We're not, jetting off to Europe, those
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
things. But we are able to just, have a little bit of a different lifestyle
Yeah.
than maybe we would have.
And one that really works for you
yeah.
and your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's a good answer. My last one. If you could have dinner, I'm going to ask both of you. I know. If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Okay.
alive.
Alive, ideally.
I did think about this, and Mark and I did talk about this. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, maybe the Apostle Paul.
Okay.
And then Mark's like, I don't know if that's such a great idea because it would be a very uncomfortable dinner.
It would be.
because he would just make you like, he would be like, oh, what are you doing with your life? What do you like?
Is this the way you actually want to be living right now?
So I'm like, oh, maybe not him. I don't know. I was thinking C.S. Lewis.
Solid choice.
A man who was an atheist
Yeah.
and then found Christ and then just shared it with everybody. And the way that he is able to explain that to
I
the
know.
reader. It just makes you think, okay, yeah.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
I've read so many of his books and I'm still like,
Yeah, it's just, he's
Yeah.
able to put it down in a way
like,
that
can
you're
you
like,
explain this to me a little more for my brain though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good answer. I like that one. Mark?
Yeah, so it would be my wife, I think.
Oh, dang.
Well,
Mark
but here's
wins the
reason. I'm
award,
not,
everyone. That's it. We're done.
No, I'm not trying to score points, but
No,
like
you
I'm
did.
not into celebrities.
Yeah.
If there's people I want to know about, I can read about.
Yeah,
and
that's
you know,
true.
there's business people that I follow, but they write a lot.
Yeah.
I can learn from them that way.
Yeah.
And anybody like that I really admire, I'll meet when I die. So
Yeah, I guess so.
I would rather just enjoy
Hang
the
out
time
with.
we have together now.
I like that. That is a great question.
It'd be
See,
great.
again,
A
another
table
true.
for 3, you, me, and C.S. Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
C.S. Lewis is also coming. And you know what? I'm going to show up too because I
Okay.
want in on that dinner. You can cook.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, that was so fun. Is there anything you wanted to add on to the property management side? I mean, we could probably talk for hours about this, but is there anything you just wanted to point out to those that are listening, watching, in regards to the property management side? I feel like we've hit a lot of good points.
Yeah, I think we have. One thing we always encourage people to do is to do it themselves.
Yep.
If they can at first.
Okay.
So if it's your first property, like we love the business, but
Sure.
I really recommend like educate yourself, get into it.
Yeah.
You need to get knocked down and get back up, build
Yeah.
up some mental toughness. And then, if you're going to continue investing in real estate, then you have a good idea what's going on, just like any business.
Yeah.
And then if you want to engage a property manager, you know the questions to ask,
Yeah.
you know all the how are you going to deal with this or that? I think that's just, if you can do it, it's a good way to move forward. And you may find you don't need a property manager.
They'll be coming for your business.
I'm fine with
No,
that.
I agree with that, right? Like it's that whole education portion of it too, right? If you can do it. But yeah, also then if there's questions, these are the people to ask, right? So their wealth of knowledge is number 1 in the book. Number 2, we will have your Instagram there so you guys can follow Joyhill. Is it .Joyhill?
Joyhill
Ca.
.ca. The website.
For the website, and then your Instagram.
Oh, Joyhill Property?
Yes.
I think that's
we
what
will
it
have
is.
that on here,
I
but
don't even
yes.
know. Isn't that terrible?
There's also the
We
the
got to
two-
get them some social media people.
I am so bad with the social media. Oh, man.
It's okay. I've got Isabel for that. So
I need an Isabel.
everyone needs an Isabel.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Two Stewards show as well.
Yes,
the
I was going to
podcast
say, and
with,
Mark
Brent.
has also started a podcast with Brent, the Good Stewards
The Two Stewards show.
Two Stewards show with Good Stewards Inc. That's
Yes.
that's what I meant. So a lot of real estate investment, talking about those really interesting things. I was actually gonna get in touch with Brent as well to be on here one time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be good.
If the show continues the way that it is, then he'll be on. So guys, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. Just like sharing your knowledge with myself, with people who are watching, listening. I know that there are a lot of really good tidbits in this episode. So I'm really excited. And thank you again. Again, guys, if you are not, make sure you're following, even though it's not totally.
I'll try.
She's going to do better
I'm
for
going
you.
to try to put something on there tomorrow.
There you go. I'll send you a photo of the 3 of us.
Yeah, there you go.
Airbnb Beard. That's my
yeah.
my Instagram handle.
AirBNB Beard.
That's right.
I love it.
He has
Guys,
to
give
keep
them
the
a
beard
follow.
now.
If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. You know my Instagram at Rachel in Real Estate or the Smart Move Podcast. We can get in touch with them for you guys. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Rachel.
having us.
Anytime.